To our live video series. Today we are going to take a look at our very first 2022 Hyundai Santa Fe. So a couple things new with the overall vehicle, which we'll talk about, and of course we're going to overly examine this model. Overly examine because that's kind of what we do here. We go really in depth, and overly was stuck in my head for a whole different reason, so that's kind of funny. Anyway, so what we're going to do is, the way this works is we do a live video every single weekday at 2 o'clock p.m. And if you've never seen this before, what we do is we go in depth and we allow our live audience to build for the first 3 minutes of this video. So if you're not quite live with us, you can jump into the 3-minute mark of this video, and that's where we'll start with our content. In the meantime, we'll cover some news, some notes, and we will also show you how to join us live. So let me do that right now. If you go to our YouTube page, which you're already on right now, if you just come back here at 2 o'clock on a weekday, what you can do is you can refresh the page exactly at 2 o'clock, which is what I'm doing right now, and you will see the live video of the day take over that home screen. When you click on that, you're going to have to watch an ad. I'm going to run a quick little ad for us. There are 3 dealers that support this channel. They are Brantford Kia, Brantford Hyundai, and Owen Sound Hyundai. If you are in Ontario looking for a car, just connect with me. As soon as this video is done, I'm going to put a link in the description, and I'm hoping that the time I spend here helps earn your business, or at least earn an email so we can have a conversation with you. So that's kind of why we do these things, and now I have to skip this ad, which is really nice. Another competitive dealer is paying to run ads on our videos, which is just a nice way for them to pay me. I appreciate that. All right, so we'll just jump in here. If you are here for the very first time, drop a comment. We'll have a couple regulars in there, and I got a couple likes in there as well, and I appreciate all of that. So, okay, let's talk news and notes. Yesterday, we were going to talk about the Kia Rio base model, or we were going to take a risk, and I took a risk. And we did a video which probably won't show up in some of your searches or maybe in some of your preferences, but it was, what would I do if I ran the company? In other words, what product changes would I make if I ran the company? A lot of you guys ask me sort of privately or in comments or on Instagram, a lot of different ways. You guys ask me, what do I not like, or what would I change, or what would I improve? And we kind of covered some of those things yesterday. So I've had some decent feedback on that. You guys say we should do something like that again, but feel free to check out that video. That's if I ran the company, I think is sort of what I named it, and the product improvements that I would make. So that's up there for you if you want. But of course, every other day, we're going to spend time going in depth in vehicles. We're also going to bring back Kia Hyundai classes soon, which are shorter videos showing you how to use some features that maybe you didn't learn about when you bought your car. So he says, can't wait to see that 2023 Sportage. Neither can I. I'm still waiting on information for that. Sounds like I'm going to wait a little bit. The EV6 from Kia is going to have, I think, June 27th. They're having a Canadian introduction night online with Fifi Dobson. Sounds like it's going to be pretty cool. I don't think I'll be around to watch that, but there we go. All right, we're going to flip around now. We are at the 3-minute mark, and what I'm going to do is just get half ready for 2 seconds. All right. Okay. So this is the 2022 Santa Fe. Let's talk about that really quickly. It's a carryover model essentially from last year. You are seeing some differences in the lineup though. The big difference is here, I'm standing in the perfect place. See that charge station? You might want to get one because you will be able to get a Santa Fe PHEV, plug-in hybrid electric vehicle. So we talked about that a little bit yesterday. Somebody asked me a great question. What is a PHEV? PHEV is a vehicle that is a hybrid, and if you've watched my channel for a while, you'll know that one of my favorite Santa Fe's, in fact, one of my favorite Hyundais for the 2021 model year, or 2020 model year, 2021, was the Santa Fe Hybrid. A plug-in hybrid gives you extra pure electric range. You can plug it in, as it sounds, and you get a certain amount of range that is plug-in. So basically, it's electric range where the gas motor doesn't run. You can go highway speeds at that range. It's not a ton of range, but it can make a huge difference in overall fuel use because let's say for instance, I haven't checked up the specs on this one, but the the Tucson has a close to 50 kilometer pure electric range. So even if you drive like 100 kilometers a day, 50 of that could be pure electric. But if you drive much less than that, or if you just charge a little bit, you can do that up. So Santa Fe will be bringing in addition to the hybrid, you will get the Santa Fe plug-in hybrid this year. And there's also a new urban edition, which I don't have pictures to show you right now, but look forward to that. We'll have all of those details here on this channel as those vehicles become available. But of course, this is the first one I could get. All right, let's flip the camera around here. I'm going to show you the key. And why am I showing you the key? Because it is a keyless entry vehicle. So we are one step up from the base model. If you look here on Hyundai's website, you will see the Santa Fe is listed here, starts at around 31.9, but you'll also notice that is the 2021 model year. This is a 2022. So I don't have the base model where it started. I do have it, but I didn't print it out. Here's my lovely handwriting. This is one step up from that base model. Now that's a little bit of a disclaimer here. So $36,499 is the MSRP of the vehicle we're talking about today. And then when I say one step up, it's actually a little bit trickier than that. There used to be an essential is the base model. It used to be an essential front wheel drive model, and the front wheel drive model is no longer there. So the base model has kind of moved up in price range, but to be fair, very few people bought that front wheel drive model, so they've discontinued the model. So practically speaking, there's not really that kind of jump that it seems like. So then you have essential, then you go into preferred. This is the preferred model, and the reason I wanted to show you this is because being keyless entry, that key goes in my pocket the entire video. I do not have to take it out for any reason whatsoever. So that's kind of nice. Overall, I like this car. This is the 2.5 liter engine. It's about 191 horsepower, 181 foot-pounds of torque. It's an 8-speed automatic transmission. When you get the hybrid or the PHEV, you're gonna go to a 6-speed transmission, which makes some sense because you've got that hybrid system in there, and you also have the ability of that extra torque of the hybrid system to make up for a couple less gears. 8 speeds is pretty class leading actually right now, class competitive for sure. The tires on this model are a little bit more sidewall. So you have a little bit smaller rim and more sidewall than some of the higher trim levels. And what you end up with is 235 60R 18 wheels. Now I like that on a sidewall for me when I'm going maybe a little bit off the beaten path, and that's kind of nice. So you've got nice sort of wheels in there, and the styling of them is pretty good. All right, let's jump inside now. So we're gonna jump into driver's seat. We're gonna look at rear seat. We're gonna look at trunk space. We're gonna look at lighting, which is LED lighting. It's very good on this. And Richie Long is saying, pound that like button. Yeah, that'd be cool. Let's do that. And let's keep going here. All right. So here we go. Jumping in here. What you start off with is, this is a very good kind of value model. Towing is not really the focus of this one. Oh, I should have checked towing capacity. I believe it's 2,000 pounds. Yes. It's 2,000 pounds on this. Oh boy, I slipped on my knowledge check. I believe it's 2,000 pounds on this. But what you're buying this one for is sort of that everyday SUV for all of your needs. And you get some nice features. You have cloth seats, which those of you who follow the channel know that I'm a big fan of cloth seats. But you do have the powered seat. So you have a power seat, you have the lumbar adjustment there. You have a pretty nice looking cloth. It's just, it's got some texture here that's hard to show on the camera, but those black darker indents are really indents. So it's a nice texture feel there, as well as a nice sort of smoother, richer feel there. Jumping in here, you have, of course, a leather wrap steering wheel. And let me just, there we go, leather wrap steering wheel there. We're gonna turn the vehicle to the on position, but not start the car. What that means is we're gonna end up with a little bit of extra, let me just clear the climate control, a little bit of extra warning lights. And the reason for that is because we're indoors and we can't gas out some of my coworkers. All right, I'm gonna just turn my light on here. I've got another vehicle parked here and I forgot to move it. So there we go. I wanna keep the exterior lights on just so I can show you some things in this car. All right, so what you're gonna notice right away off the bat is a really nice display screen here. So left side tach, right side speedometer, temperature gauge left side, right side is fuel gauge. You can see it is very low. I don't even think this has had the pre-delivery inspection done yet, but that's okay. In that center display, you have kind of the everything. So again, we looked at the Kia Telluride the other day, the EX model, which is the entry-level Telluride. You don't have a color display yet for 2022. You do have color displays in this Santa Fe. So does hybrid mean not plug-in and gas electric? Yeah, you know what? I'll quickly cover hybrid a little bit later in this video. So we'll talk about the hybrid and the plug-in hybrid a little bit later. I'm going to cover the vehicle I'm in, but if you want to know those questions about hybrid, plug-in hybrid, perfect, great question. Just stay tuned for a little bit and we'll get into that. I just see some hybrid and PHEV questions coming in there, and I want to make sure I address them fairly. Okay, so in here, again, this display is really good. You got your driver assistance stuff, you got your information. These are two screens I really like here. Tire pressure monitors is nice to have, and this is an all-wheel drive bar graph, which is nice to see as well. Moving over here, you've got the lane keep assist, lane follow assist type settings in here. You can cycle down through there, driver attention level as well. And you've got your speedometer here. Now again, ignore fuel efficiency. These are not gonna be accurate because this is being a vehicle that sits around. It's only got 22 kilometers, but I have had it idling today a little bit just for various things that I've been doing with it. But you can see you have these nice bar graphs here. That is a moving bar graph. So you'll have a bar graph fill in for your instant fuel economy. You'll have your average fuel economy for your trip. and overall for your since refueling in this case. So a lot of information in here that's very easy to work, just easy to understand, and I really quite like it. And that color display is nice. The blue looks pretty good. You can change the theme. I will say that this is more of a navy darker blue than it's showing up in my screen here. So it may be a little different color. You may want to just see it in person. If you don't like the brightness of the blue that's showing on your screen, it does look a little bit more navy blue to me in person. Coming over here is another thing that I'm really kind of liking about this whole Kia Hyundai world right now. You've got these 8-inch screens that have kind of a little bit of everything that you would want. So start here with the quiet mode. That's kind of a nice feature if you have kids in the back, especially if so there's two ways of thought on this. If you have kids in the back and they're young kids and they want to sleep, the quiet mode can turn off the rear speakers and allow them to sleep, which is kind of nice, and you can still listen to your music up front. The bigger reason I like that quiet mode is when you touch it here, I'll show you what it does. It sets the front seats to volume level 7, which of course you can increase. But again, by turning off those rear speakers, if you have older kids that maybe listen to the music in their earbuds, they don't have to listen to your music. So I think it's just like this kind of lifetime of the vehicle. If you buy this car when you've got little kids and they grow up to be bigger kids, that's just a really nice feature that I see has some legs. You know, it's going to be useful for a while. So you've got that moved into these cars now. Never really was in this class of cars. Started in the Palisade when we first saw it here. And then you also have BlueLink. BlueLink is a complicated system that's very easy to use. It does a lot of things. I'd say 90% of the people use it for just one thing, and that is remote starting the car from the cell phone app. You can also do things like make sure the doors are locked, unlock and lock the doors yourself. There's a lot that you can do with that BlueLink system. But the bigger thing you need to know is you can control the car from your cell phone app, and that's a really nice feature to have. And then there's two features in here, Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, which you expect to see in anything in this class. If you're looking at a car in this class that doesn't have those, I would walk away right now. It should be in every car in the class now. So it's not a huge selling feature unless you recognize that this one here is not just Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. When it says press this widget, instead of saying connect the cord, so it's to start connecting Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, press this widget. That press this widget tells you that it is wireless Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. And that kind of makes a big difference, because now you're driving around in a car that has no factory navigation, but at any point you can call up Google Maps, Apple Maps, Waze, all kinds of things. You can do it often wirelessly. You don't even have to touch your phone. You can call up the system. And that means you have navigation as well as the full Android Auto, Apple CarPlay suite of things, and those will be continuously updated. So it's just a big feature to have, and making it wireless becomes such a convenience over time, and of course constantly improving. The other nice little thing is you don't see on a lot of lower trim line cars, and again this is sort of second from the bottom, Sirius XM. So you can see I've got the highway up, country music, you can listen to whatever you want. But the idea is you have Sirius radio here, and I will say for whatever reason the mid-size cars, so the Sonatas, the K5s, the Santa Fe's, the Sorrentos, that class of car in the Kia Hyundai lineup seems to have an upgraded bass stereo in these cars. So the non-Bose stereo, non-Harman Kardon stereo system is pretty good in these cars. So I highly recommend what they've done. And again, I'm reading the sign. The satellite radio is kind of a nice thing to have because you get that sound quality. And of course, if you go to the FM band as well, you also have HD radio. So HD radio gives you that super clear CD kind of quality sound if your radio stations support it, which many radio stations do have an HD channel now. So just kind of a nice balance in the stereo system here. I can't show you the rear view camera. Actually, no. Yeah, hold on, I can. Rear view camera we can pull up right there. Again, crystal clear, really wide angle. They seem to be a little bit wider angle than they ever used to be. So you can see every line in the floor there. I feel like this used to have the buttons or the lines on here. Parking guidance, display. Yeah, it should have the parking guidance on there. This car has not been through the shop yet, so there's a system where they have to run it through the computer system when we get the car to the dealership. This hasn't done that, so that's possibly why there's no guidance lines. There will be guidance lines on this car, which is a blue line and a sort of a blue line and yellow line. But it's not there now. It will be there when you go to pick up this car. Again, I got the car a little too early, so that's kind of what happens. I tried to get it for you guys as quick as I could. Somebody asked a really good question. Is the BlueLink system free? Last I checked, it's still free for 3 years. I'll have to double check about the 2022 models, but it is free as far as I am understanding. The 2021s were free for 3 years. I think if you bought now, it would still be free for 3 years. At some point, they'll work that way back, and there will be a subscription fee at some point. They have not figured that out yet. So there we go. Let me flip the camera back around. Okay, coming down here, there's a hard to display area. Let me just show you from the side here. Hyundai does this huge thing with the space in there. That is a pretty big space. If you are the kind of person that carries a purse, you could put maybe a purse in there. I was talking to one of my coworkers. He said he has car snacks, as he calls them. He says he would put them down there. You have a couple USB ports or 12 volt ports down there. 12 volt and USB, I believe. Oh boy, I can't see it. Yep, 12 volt on this side here. USB on the other side there. So you've got ports to plug things in for yourself or your passenger. And what that does is it raises this up. So I'm going to try to film with my left hand here. You can see everything here is easily within reach of my hand. And this push button gear shift, some people think it's controversial. To be very honest, I did as well. I've gotten very used to it. It's very simple, easy to use, but it kind of cleans up this whole area, makes you have some more space. So it really gives a nice kind of dash. So you've got the top of the line automatic climate control system in here. And what that means is you set it for auto, and let's just turn it onto the screen. We can see it on the screen. So when we set it to auto, you can see everything that it does. We have it set for 20 degrees. I can unsync the temperatures, so I can have different temperatures on driver and passenger if I want to do that. So you have this nice system, but you can also turn down the auto system. So right now it's set to go to 20 degrees. Let's just sync it all together. It's set to go to 20 degrees in this car right now. It's getting kind of noisy with the fans, so you can turn those fans down. So it'll just take a little longer to reach that 20 degrees. So there's two benefits to this. One, the fan volume turns down, the noise of it. Two, you end up with, you don't have that blast of cold air when someone gets out of the car and the car instantly tries to bring it back really quickly to 20 degrees, where the front passenger or front driver freeze for a minute and a half while the car tries to get down 20 degrees as quickly as possible. By slowing it down, it just gives you a little bit less of that freezing cold air to cool it down again. And it just spreads that out over time, and it's just a kind of better system. I really have grown to like this tri-mode kind of system there. I'm gonna turn it off because it is noisy for the video. Down here you have the best system we've got for all-wheel drive systems. So you've got the Smart, the Sport, and the Comfort. So 3 drive modes in there, but you've also got the terrain modes of snow, mud, and sand. Now, people ask a really great question when we drive with these cars. Do you have to put it in snow mode the second you see snow? No, the all-wheel drive system is always active. What the drive modes do is they optimize your throttle, your transmission shift points, a whole bunch of things for different driving environments. If you're in a sporty driving environment, you can make it sporty. Now, also it's used for towing a little bit of trailer. You could keep the revs up, for instance. Most people like the Smart mode. That makes most sense. But the snow mode is something you can kick it into on a snowy day, and it will optimize all the systems for snow. So although you always have all-wheel drive and it's always active, you can optimize everything for instance, snow, mud, or sand. So kind of a cool thing. When it's in auto, can you change the direction of the air? Yes, great question here. That was a good question, so I'm just going to show you how to do that. So see these, where are we over here? There, right, this button right here. That button right there, I'm going to cycle through, and there's it going to my body and my floor. There it's going to the lower area, and there it's going to defrost, and just to myself. And if I just hit the auto button again, it will go back. So while you can change the modes, it takes it out of the auto setting, because when you have it in the auto setting, it's going to decide where it puts it for the best overall experience. So again, I'm going to turn it up here. You'll see that it very cools down or calms down a little bit right there. But yeah, you can change it from auto, but it does change the auto system, because the auto system controls the temperature, it controls where it heads, it controls auto defrost, those kind of things. So when you adjust anything, fan speed, then you've taken control of the auto. When you adjust the where it goes, you've taken control of auto. The only thing that doesn't change it is the temperature. That would keep it in auto, and it would automatically reach that. So good question there. All right, somebody says, keep smashing, just 6 away from 30. Yeah, we're going a little long on the inside here. I'm going to jump out and take your questions in about 1 minute here, maybe even less than that. So yeah, do me a favor, hit that, smash that like button, as my friends like to say. Somebody says, cooled seats. Well, let's talk about that right now. heated seats on this model. So again, lower trim level. Most of the time you need leather. In fact, leather or suede is the only way to get the ventilated seats. Now, I turned that on when you saw it did. I already feel through these cloth seats that heat coming through the seat. So they are very quick warming heated seats. Heated steering wheel as well. You don't have the ventilated seats just because of the trim line. Over here, this kind of carbon fiber-ish look to this. It's definitely plastic, and that's okay. Very nice opening system here. You know, we have a lot of Teslas in stock here at Brantford Kia where we film, and they have a similar type system that doesn't work as well, doesn't feel as well. So again, you have a $100,000 car that doesn't have anything that feels as nice as this. USB port there, deep cup holder there, upper cup holder here, another place to put your phone here. Only thing I would have loved to see that they don't have in this trim line is the, they don't have the wireless phone charger, which I would like to see. You do, however, have the garage door openers on the bottom of your mirror there. And again, that Blue Link system has some buttons up top here as well. All right, 20 minutes in already. We've only got 10 minutes to go. We're gonna go rear seat, trunk space, lights all coming up. Do me a favor, hit that like button. We're gonna jump out, take your questions. I'm gonna turn the car off for a quick second here. We didn't even talk about blind spot detection, forward collision avoidance, rear cross traffic alerts, all kinds of safety features in this. And it is a really good reason to buy a Santa Fe. To be fair, most of these Hyundais and Kia vehicles, if I can get my motion light to turn on here, most of these Hyundai and Kia vehicles, they have excellent safety features. If it's got lane keep, lane follow assist, you're gonna have some level of forward collision avoidance. If it's got blind spot detection, you're going to have the rear cross traffic alert. So really nice safety package in this car. A couple other things I really like. Really long roof rail. It's got a one-piece roof rail there. I'm a kayaker. I can spread the bars really far, put my kayak up top there. Bikes, whatever you want to do, kind of makes it handy. Roof box, ski box, whatever you want. All right, I'm going to show you me this time. Sometimes I show you the car, sometimes I show you me. Let's keep it on me, even though I'm much less attractive than the vehicle. All right, let's see what kind of questions we've got. Oh, we were going to talk about hybrid and plug-in hybrid. So hybrid system has a battery in the car with a gasoline engine, and the gasoline engine can charge that battery as well as braking and decelerating. What that means is anytime you need a little extra power, accelerating other times, even cruising the highway, it can kick in electric assist. Really fantastic for mileage, really fantastic for emissions, and never have to charge. Not quite as good mileage as a plug-in hybrid, but way better mileage than just a regular car. So now what you have is that, and then the plug-in hybrid is exactly what I just described, except in addition to that, you can plug the car in, and then you can get a number of kilometers, let's say 40, 50 kilometers or so. I'll have to double check the specs on the Santa Fe, but you can get a number of kilometers of pure electric range. And then it kicks over to the hybrid. So it never kicks over to a full gasoline vehicle, it kicks over to the hybrid. You always get great mileage, but you can drive purely electric range for most of your in-town trips, even at highway speeds in-town trips. And then even if you went across the country, you'd still just be able to fill up with fuel. Really good system. You're gonna see a lot more about PHEVs. You're gonna hear me talk about them. I like them, they're a good value. So we talked about that. Take some questions here. Blue Link, is it free? Not yet, or still free now, as far as I can tell. Santa Fe PHEV delayed. I'm not sure how delayed it is. It's coming. Where we are. So Santa Fe is a little larger than Tucson. Debating if it's worth the extra money. Okay, great question. Santa Fe is a little larger than Tucson. Is it worth the extra money? The short answer is you're going to have to sit in both these vehicles yourself. The Tucson technically on the spec sheet has a larger trunk than the Santa Fe, even though the Santa Fe is supposed to be the class above vehicle, the bigger vehicle. Now, I think that is somewhat due to they don't include the underfloor storage in this car. It's got much deeper underfloor storage than a Tucson does, which we're going to show you in just a second. Is one worth more than the other? I don't know. I love the drive of the Santa Fe. I think all I need is a Tucson. They're both really nice. And I can just see people kind of going, yeah, I prefer one over the other. There's going to be reasons why you want one over the other, and it depends on what your preferences are. So it's kind of cool right now because the Tucson, having grown from the previous generation, really kind of comes up to this size, and now you've essentially got a one-stop shop for two really good small crossovers. This one's a sort of a mid-sized crossover. The Tucson is technically a small crossover, but it's a bigger one. So yeah, that's kind of exactly where I'm at. I don't know which one's more or better. Both are good. And I think just driving them both is what's going to really help you make that sort of decision. I can see, though, the new Tucson stealing sales from the Santa Fe. There's no question about it. People are going to move to that and get maybe a few more features for the money, or move into the higher trim levels, get that hybrid, get some really good fuel savings there, because the higher level Tucsons are all hybrids. So there we go. Someone says, I want that black golf shirt with the new logo. Yeah, I wear those Monday, Wednesday, Thursday. Monday, Wednesday, Friday right now. I've got 3 of those so far. Is there any difference between the Santa Fe Preferred 2021, 2021, and 2020? According to the spec sheet, no. I haven't had time to dig through every bit of the software in here. It does appear to be the same, but I'm going to continue to dig into it. So for most customers, yes, it's identical. Sometimes there's some real minor changes that they don't always list in our spec sheet, and I'm going to try to dig for some of those. But it does look to be basically the exact same as what the previous one was. And again, this trim line, really nice trim line to have. Styling of the Santa Fe, pricing of the Tucson, yeah. Are the front seats more comfortable in the Santa Fe? Okay, so that's another thing that's tough for me to say. I think the front seats in the Santa Fe feel maybe a little bit larger, maybe, but they're not necessarily more comfortable. And keep in mind, more comfortable really depends on who you are. Like, I'm shaped like me. To the best of my knowledge, nobody in the world is shaped exactly like me. There are a lot of different shaped people, and they may find certain seats more comfortable than other seats. Tesla is the one thing that really bothers me. The Tesla Model 3 and Model Y, there's people the same size as me that love the seat in that car. I find the seats don't fit me at all. They dig into my hips for some reason, which is kind of a weird thing. All right, so yeah, you're gonna have to try the seats yourself. I find both to be quite comfortable. Maybe the Santa Fe seats are a little bit larger, I'm not sure. Okay, so here's where we're gonna go. I saw, actually, Albert, you just asked a question about something. If you already answered this during the live, when was the expected date for the PHEV on this? I don't have a date on the PHEV exactly. It is a planned model, it is an approved model, it's coming, but I don't have a date of when it'll hit dealerships. Probably what's gonna happen is I'm gonna see it before it even shows up on the website, and I'll have it online. And that's what we did with this car today, is this car is not on the website yet. It's not, even when they order the vehicle, they have to do a manual order because it's not even in the computer system. But this car exists, and it is a 2022. So I will probably have it before, possibly even before it shows up. We don't really know that. So there we go. Why are there paint dots on the tires? Again, this is just, this car hasn't even been run through the shop yet. That's just why they do it. I don't know if that's a lining up thing or if that's an inspection thing. I'm gonna have to ask that question, but you will see this commonly on some of the cars that I get, especially when I pull them out here as early as possible. All right, we're gonna jump in the back seat here. Back seat has a lot. So you have these nice little window shades here, which the camera always kind of corrects. And it, you know, if you look at that window here, you can see the real brightness here, real dark there. So they really add a lot of shade there. The one thing I kind of like is, at least in the Kia lineup, I think it was the same in the Hyundai lineup, these hooks used to be reversed. You had to bring them up to the window and hook them on the other way. That was harder to do. This is an easier way to do it, to plug in from the outside. So kind of just a little ergonomic change there that I don't know if it was changed on this year or just this model, I don't really remember. But many of our vehicles used to have the hooks on the inside. So you have those window shades built into the door, really kind of nice there. Cup holders in here, of course, you'd expect that. A lot of recline in these seats here. And you have over here your vents, your 2 USB ports. The right side is the only one with a pocket there. Left side does not. And they are plastic back seats. So if you do have kids, you've got lots of room. Let's take a look at headroom and stuff here. You've got headrests that come up a long way. No issues with headroom. And to be fair, Tucson's kind of the same thing. Tucson's a very large rear seat as well. And you've got lots of knee room. And of course, I can recline this here and go back a long ways. So if I want to just kind of almost lay down here, I can. If I want to go really square up, it goes fairly square up as well. So comfortable in its most square position, but certainly a lot of recline there. So overall, back seats score high marks. And of course, you guys all know that I really value a seat where my leg is flush on the seat, and there's really no issue. I can move my leg anywhere I want, and it is flush on the seat. That's a big comfort feature that people overlook, I think. And one more thing I'm gonna show you is I left this car dirty on the right side. I kind of gave it a quick wipe down, but you can see that, of course, when you have a new vehicle, or any vehicle, you can see some dirt down here, and the dirt, of course, builds on the lower level of the car. This one is actually quite dirty down here. The nice thing about these doors, front and rear, is they wrap around, and you can see here the very bottom underneath, this is under, like, so this is flush, and then it has a little lip that goes all the way underneath. You can see how dirty my hands are. This is a rubber seal. When you get out of this taller vehicle, if your pant leg rubs here, it will not get dirty, which can happen on a taller vehicle. Your pant leg rubs, and it won't get dirty whether you're getting out of the front seat or the rear seat because the door wraps all the way around. It's just a really nice feature to have. Rear area here, nice looking lighting. We'll get it on in a second for you if you'd like. Pop up, not a powered tailgate on this trim line. You can get that as you move up in the trim lines. We're gonna pull the floor mats out here. So this is one thing I really value, and I don't say I need it, but I kind of appreciate it. You've got underfloor storage, so of course this is typical, a little bit underfloor storage there, pretty deep. But the entire back floor here is also underfloor storage, and it's really deep and segmented out. So whether you're throwing laptop, gym bags, even an overnight bag kind of thing, like a backpack or something in there, 1, 2, 3 slots in there, you've got a ton of underfloor storage. And that's where the confusion comes in, where the Tucson technically has more cargo volume in liters in the trunk, but I think they don't include those underfloor storage because I think this is still larger when you include those. But yeah, Tucson or this, both going to be really good options. I have a teddy bear test, so we use teddy bear to measure trunk space so you can compare between different videos that I've made. And I always put his belly up against the back seats there. He's got a ton of width here. I would say probably more width than the Tucson, and a lot of length, like 2 teddy bears length pretty much in there. So he's got a lot of space there. He's happy. I always assume teddy bear's a he. Maybe he's not. Does it have a spare tire? This particular one doesn't. I'm not sure. I have to double check the specs if you can get them on other vehicles in the class. I'm pretty sure I remember seeing them on other Santa Fe's, but maybe I'm crazy, and that could be. So I'll have to double check the specs. Again, this is the very first day I've spent with this vehicle, and I haven't spent as much time with it as I would like to dig into some of those things. So we'll try to find that out for you, but it may be available as an accessory, it may not be. Yeah, they're doing inflator kits on more and more vehicles, but they're also, I think there's still tires on these ones. I just can't remember. All right, we are 31 and a bit minutes in. I'm gonna take your questions one more time. And there's a few off-topic questions that I can address as well. If you have on-topic questions, feel free to ask. Just remember that when the comments come in, they take a second from when you hit enter to show up on my screen here. So I'll do my best to answer as many as I can, but do me a favor and ask them right now. And if you haven't hit the like button yet, I think somebody said we should go for 30 likes, and we have. So why don't we do that? I'll flip the camera around to me right now, and we'll take some questions. All right. Carnival questions, we'll get to that in 1 second. Actually, that's the only one there. Okay, so Carnival SX with reclining seats, can you do a live on that? Yes, I have done a Carnival. Oh, that's not very good, you. Carnival SX, we have done a live on those recliner type seats. So for sure, we can do the, if you look up Carnival SX, you know what, why don't I just show you how to do that right now? We'll zip across here. I'm just gonna open a new window, and if I can find, where am I? There we go. All right, so if we just go over here, go to our YouTube channel. If you search right here for any video you want, doesn't matter what video it is, on our channel, hit this little, so you don't go to the search bar on top of YouTube up here, use this search bar right here. Let's just type Carnival with my one hand, SX. And so that's what I wrote in there. I'm gonna hit enter, and you will see every video I did. And of course, that Carnival SX with those seats right there. Whoops, let me get my hand off of that. Oh, that's not an attractive view of me. Where's my cursor? There we go. There's a Carnival SX right there. So that's the one you're looking for. So again, just use the search tab right there. You can find any video that we've done, and hopefully that helps. Are there any other questions about this vehicle, or didn't realize they had so many power adjustments more than the front? Oh, sorry. Oh, yeah, the auto show. Yeah, okay, so still Carnival stuff. Yeah, Carnival seats are pretty cool. We've got videos on all that. We've got videos on just about every vehicle in the Kia Hyundai lineup. If we don't have it yet, it's because we're trying to get those vehicles in. So like I said, this is the very first 2022 we have of the Santa Fe. Still waiting on Santa Cruz, and still waiting on the Ioniq 5, but and of course all the rest of the trim levels, we'll do our best to get these as well. Gonna be honest, guys, right now what's going on in all of the car industry, especially, and Kia Hyundai is no exception, inventory is going to be a crunch for the next few months here. So we're doing our best to get everything we can get to you. The good news is we'll probably get more cars than the press will, because there's just not a lot of cars to go around. So hopefully that helps. I think, you guys, we'll leave it there. This model lacks only a wireless charger, but you can install one for $40. It's very good. Yeah, exactly. So you can get a wireless charger, just set your phone down, you can put it somewhere. I just like when they're included. That's the one thing that, to me, now that you're including the wireless Android Auto and wireless Apple CarPlay, I kind of feel like with that feature, it should just come standard with, at this price point anyways, with a wireless charger. And the reason I say this price point is it's kind of weird what they do with cars, right? So you look at the Elantra. The Elantra is like under 20 grand and had wireless Android Auto, Apple CarPlay. But when you get into this, you're in the mid 30s. You know, at that point, I feel like it's not the end of the world to add a little USB or a wireless phone charger. So maybe not on every car, but there comes a price point where if you're going to give me wireless Android Auto, wireless Apple CarPlay, just let me set my phone down and charge it as well. So that's my feeling. All right, if you want to know more of my feelings, check out yesterday's video. That's if I ran the company, and I don't, which is why they're still successful and in business, and I probably still have a job because I wouldn't have a job if I ran the company on the ground. All right, there we go, guys. We're going to leave it right there with this one. Thank you, everybody, for watching. We will be back tomorrow, still deciding on what we're going to do tomorrow. So if you have something you want, let me know. If we have it in stock, we will do that. Whether it's Kia or Hyundai, I'm open to your suggestions, and we will talk to you again tomorrow. Thanks, everybody, for watching. It's been fun.